Valencia, a vibrant city on Spain's eastern coast. For many, it's the perfect destination for a city break. But anyone who thinks Valencia is just a city hasn't yet discovered this amazing region. The city of Valencia is actually the capital of a much larger area, the Valencian Community, one of Spain's 17 autonomous regions. In this video, I'll take you on a 7-day road trip through this beautiful region full of culture, nature, and history. I start my journey in the north at perhaps one of the most characteristic towns along the eastern coast, Peniscola. In the 8th century, the Moors built a fort on this strategic rocky cape to defend the coast. Up until the late Middle Ages, the fort was expanded into a castle, city walls were constructed, and narrow winding streets with whitewashed houses emerged. Upon arriving at the old town, you immediately notice the robustness of the walls that have grown into a massive fortress, offering stunning views over the bay. The castle at the highest point was built by the Templars around the year 1300, but is especially famous for its connection to anti-pope Benedict XIII, who was deposed in the early 15th century and fled to this castle. His deposition happened during a time when the Catholic Church was split, with multiple popes reigning simultaneously. From this castle, he tried to maintain his papal authority, temporarily making it a center of papal power. The statue of him in front of the castle overlooking the sea reflects his unwavering determination and lets you feel the history, a period as turbulent as the sea surrounding it. Peniscola is a beautiful town to wander through and is also notable because such intact medieval walls and castles are rare to find in European cities. Many films and series have been shot here, including Game of Thrones and historical documentaries. From the coast, I drive inland, where I visit a small chapel perched on the top of the Sierra del Bovalar. Originally dating back to the 14th century, it was rededicated in the 17th century, likely under the influence of the Franciscans. During the Spanish Civil War, the modest chapel, measuring about 8 by 5 meters, was damaged but later restored. The chapel offers breathtaking panoramic views of the surrounding landscape and the village of Salsadella. For over 280 years, a pilgrimage has taken place from this village to the chapel on Easter Monday, followed by various festivities back in town. It's both a spiritual journey and a socio-cultural event deeply rooted in local tradition. On the way to the city of Onda, through the heart of the Castellón province, I pass some of the most stunning places, a landscape of rugged beauty and serene simplicity. Amid all this natural splendor, a small village appears, enchanting in its setting, Les Uzeres. Surrounded by ravines, hills, and mountains, this village is beautifully nestled in the landscape, a true hidden gem in a green oasis. But my next stop, Onda, is a remarkable city as well, particularly because of the massive castle that towers high above it. It's easy to see why the castle is nicknamed the Castle of the 300 Towers. In the Middle Ages, it was even said to have more towers than there are days in a year. Built on the foundations of a Roman or Iberian fort, it was completely rebuilt by the Moors in the 10th century. Over the centuries, it suffered severe damage and fell into disrepair until it was partially restored starting in 1990. The castle is an imposing structure that dominates the entire town and offers breathtaking views over the city. Walking through this enormous fortress gives you a vivid sense of what life must have been like centuries ago. Surrounding the castle lies the old town, a maze of narrow streets and hidden squares. It breathes history, yet also bears the scars of decay. Abandoned houses, crumbling facades, and a silence that once held life. It's a neighborhood not forgotten, but one waiting to be rediscovered. About 7 kilometers south of the city, you'll find a small reservoir from where I take a beautiful hike of around 5 kilometers. The trail winds along narrow, steep forest paths and alternates between paved sections and rocky terrain. As you climb higher, the landscape opens up, revealing stunning views over the lake. A remarkable rock formation comes into view, the Orgues de Benitandús. These red sandstone pillars have been shaped by millions of years of erosion, and with their impressive shapes, resemble church organs. Standing atop these enormous columns, you're treated to a breathtaking view of the surrounding area and this dramatic rocky landscape. The hike involves an ascent of about 400 meters, with some fairly steep sections, but it's definitely worth the effort to make the climb and admire the spectacular geology up close. With this hike, the first day is nearly coming to an end. I continue driving along a series of stunning mountain roads, winding through small villages that seem frozen in time, and slowly make my way toward the next destination, ready to welcome a brand new day of adventure. Segorbe, the setting for an early morning walk. This historic city still boasts many well-preserved medieval structures. The historic aqueduct, built through the city in the 14th century to bring drinking water, was also partly integrated into the city walls. These walls, originally constructed shortly after King Jome I reconquered the city in 1245, are still partially intact. While the city walls once had a dual function, over the last centuries they have partially become part of houses, which is still clearly visible from the outside. The walls lead you to the top of the town, where the now vanished castle of Segorbe once stood. Today, only remnants remain of what was once one of the most powerful fortresses in the region. Just some walls, foundations, and traces of towers. Much of the castle was demolished in the 18th and 19th centuries, with many stones repurposed for building houses in the surrounding neighborhood. Although the city is modest in size, with only about 9,000 residents, it has an incredibly rich history, visible in the impressive cathedral at the heart of the historic center. Built in the 13th century on the site of a former mosque, the cathedral is primarily Gothic in style. About 4 centuries later, it was expanded and renovated, incorporating elements from other architectural styles. The interior is richly decorated, featuring many paintings that reference Renaissance and Baroque influences added later. Both inside and out, it is a magnificent building definitely worth visiting when you're in town. I leave the city and visit another special religious site about 20 kilometers from Segorbe, the Santuario de la Cueva Santa. This sanctuary is built around a natural cave that has served as a pilgrimage site since the Middle Ages. According to tradition, the Virgin Mary appeared here, prompting the construction first of a small chapel and later of the sanctuary. Although the exterior of the building appears somewhat plain and abandoned, the cave itself is a mystical and peaceful place. Even if you're not religious, it's a beautiful cave to visit. The natural rock formations combined with religious symbolism and small altars make it an impressive site with a unique atmosphere. I'm leaving behind the calm start of the day and trading it for the hustle and bustle of city life. I've arrived in the capital of the region, Valencia. It quickly becomes clear that this city is steeped in rich history, beginning with the imposing Torres de Serranos, which greet you at the edge of the old city center. This massive Gothic city gate was built at the end of the 14th century as part of the old city wall and can now be climbed. It's a popular tourist attraction that offers a stunning panoramic view of the city and a vivid reminder of the architectural grandeur of that era. I continue my walk through the city and stop at the small yet impressive oval-shaped basilica on the Place de la Verge, as well as the Valencia Cathedral right next to it. Built in the 13th century on the foundations of a Roman temple and later a mosque, the cathedral features an impressive 51-meter-high tower. You can climb the tower if you book in advance or arrive early. Unfortunately, I missed that opportunity. Valencia is Spain's third-largest city, home to nearly 800,000 people. It was founded thousands of years ago as a Roman colony and later became a prominent Moorish city. In the Middle Ages, it grew rapidly due to the silk trade, something still visible today at the Lonja de la Seda. This 15th-century Gothic trading hall was where merchants gathered to trade, arrange credit, and settle disputes. It's a stunning building with a central hall featuring 12 nearly 17-meter-high spiral columns, a tower that partly served as a prison, a courtyard, and a grand tribunal hall, which acted as a commercial court. The magnificence of this structure is undeniable, and it's no surprise that it's listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. For those seeking peace and recreation, the old riverbed to the north of the historic center has been transformed into an enormous city park. It features beautifully landscaped gardens and sports facilities. But the old bridges can also be admired from a completely different perspective than you're used to. In this area, you'll also find the Jardins de Viveros, a city park originally laid out as the garden of an Arab palace and later used as a royal nursery. In 1903, it was transferred to the city of Valencia and developed into a public park. It's a lovely area with sculptures, fountains, a rose garden, and even a traffic-themed playground where children can learn about road safety. Thanks to its central location and historical importance, it's well worth a visit to escape the pace of the city for a while. There's so much more to discover in Valencia, such as the Plaza de Toros, the 19th century bullring, and the Central Market, which, with over 8,000 square meters, is one of the largest covered markets in Europe. This market plays an important role in daily life. Many locals do their everyday shopping here. It's a remarkable building and absolutely worth stepping inside. I make one last stop at the vibrant heart of the city, Plaza de l'Ajuntament. This large square is home to both the City Hall and the main post office. Its unique architecture makes it a striking and iconic part of the historic center. It's a city you definitely shouldn't miss during your trip, and it's also highly recommended as a multi-day city break. There's so much more to see beyond what I've already explored. After leaving this beautiful city, I enjoy the last rays of sunshine in the coastal town of Cullera. The panoramic castle perched atop the hill overlooking the town offers stunning views of both the city and the coastline. Built by the Moors, who could watch over the entire coast from here. This place is known not only for its rich history, but also for its beautiful, expansive beaches and natural surroundings. As I watch the sunset, I reflect on a wonderful day spent in a historic city. But once the sun has set, the castle truly comes alive. What a magnificent structure it is, proudly towering above the illuminated town below. I start my morning with a peaceful walk along the boulevard of Cullera, slowly waking up to the salty sea breeze and the wide, beautiful beaches. To add a bit of elevation to the day, I continue my journey to the small village of La Drova, nestled between the mountains. From here I hike a few kilometers toward the Coll de la Rafela, where I'm treated to breathtaking views of the surrounding landscape. Although the cave along the route is still closed, it's fascinating to think that over 30,000 years ago, people carved and painted thousands of images on its walls. This site is considered the largest collection of Paleolithic art in Europe. It's a scenic walk infused with deep history, a perfect blend of nature and cultural heritage. I visit the city of Gandia, home to one of the most important buildings in the Valencia region, the Ducal Palace. Originally built in the 14th century, the palace was later rebuilt and expanded over the centuries, resulting in a stunning blend of Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque, and Rococo architectural styles. The palace became the property of the Borgia family when Alfonso V of Aragon gifted it to Rodrigo de Borgia in 1485, who would later become Pope Alexander VI. The power and wealth of this influential family are clearly reflected in the breathtaking rooms of the palace, especially the Hall of Crowns, which immediately conveys a sense of authority. Its dominant wooden coffered ceiling is adorned with double crown motifs, symbolizing both papal and ducal power. The massive tapestries that line the walls depict scenes from the family's illustrious history. Next to the hall is the private chapel, a remarkable space with an intense blue-ribbed vault, decorated with intricate ornaments and paintings that make it truly unique. From the Duchess's chamber, where, according to tradition, St. Francis Borgia was born, I make my way to the most spectacular part of the palace, the Golden Gallery. This gallery, considered one of the palace's most iconic features, was commissioned by the 10th Duke of Gandia in the early 18th century. It consists of 5 interconnected rooms separated by intricately carved wooden porticos, all gilded in gold leaf. These richly decorated rooms, filled with paintings and stunning ceiling frescoes, create an almost surreal atmosphere, a vivid testament to the Borgia family's immense influence and legacy. It's also Palm Sunday today, which means festivities are taking place all across Spain. In Gandia, a morning procession is held in which a statue of Jesus is carried through the streets. Although the atmosphere here is quite different from what I experienced last year in Andalusia, it's still a truly special moment to witness during my journey. From this unique cultural tradition, I make my way to an extraordinary gorge near the city of Alcoy. The journey there is an experience in itself, with breathtaking mountain landscapes unfolding along the road. The gorge, known as the Barranc del Cint, is about 1 kilometer long and truly awe-inspiring. Even the entrance alone makes you pause to take in the magnitude of this impressive place. Steep rock walls, narrow passages, and stair-like paths create a powerful and immersive hiking experience. Because the gorge is relatively short, located close to the road, and has only minor elevation changes, it's accessible to most visitors. Of course, you can continue the hike beyond the gorge and enjoy panoramic views from above. Due to unstable weather and the threat of thunderstorms, I decide to hike just a few kilometers before turning back, grateful to have walked through this stunning natural wonder, even if only briefly. After a few passing showers, I end the day with a visit to one of the most touristy villages in Spain, El Castell de Guadalest. Nestled in a stunning landscape high above a deep valley, this ancient Moorish fortress village clings dramatically to the side of a rocky cliff. At the top of the old town lie the remains of a castle that has watched over the region for nearly 1,000 years. Walking through the narrow streets of this historic village, it's easy to understand why so many people are drawn here. Though only around 200 people live in Guadalest, it attracts over 2 million visitors annually. It's certainly no hidden gem, but its popularity is well deserved. It's officially recognized as one of the most beautiful villages in Spain. With its castle ruins, picturesque clock tower, palm trees, and sweeping views over the turquoise reservoir, it's absolutely worth a visit. And in the evening hours, the crowds thin out, allowing you to truly enjoy the charm and tranquility of this remarkable place. After visiting this stunning village, I drive a few more beautiful kilometers through a breathtaking landscape, soaking in the spectacular views along the way. I end the day in peace and quiet, fully enjoying the serenity that this region has to offer. A new day, a new hike. Today, I start my day on the coast with the Ruta Penya-Segats. This 5-kilometer trail runs for about 2 kilometers along the steep, rugged cliffs of the Costa Blanca. The path, which winds halfway up the cliffs, is truly breathtaking. With overhanging rock formations, spectacular viewpoints, and secluded beaches. Along the way, you encounter various caves that hold both historical and cultural significance, as they were once used by people for activities such as fishing. The lower part of the route is relatively flat, making it accessible to many, especially if you start from the northern end, near Cala del Moreg beach. It's the perfect place to combine a panoramic cliffside hike with a relaxing beach day. What makes this spot even more remarkable are the houses perched directly atop the cliffs. You can't help but wonder what it's like to live there. From above, you can already see the next striking rock formation I'm about to climb. This massive rock reminds me a bit of the Rock of Gibraltar, which I visited last year. This beautiful rock, which is also the smallest nature park in Spain, is located near the city of Calp. The route to the top and back is about 6 kilometers long from the parking lot and consists of roughly 2 parts. The first part has well-paved paths with beautiful views of the town, which is nicely situated next to the rock. From the 40-meter-long tunnel carved out in 1918, the path becomes much more difficult to walk. The route gets steeper, rockier, and narrower, but with some experience, it is still manageable for most people. Upon arrival at the top, it is unfortunately quickly surrounded by clouds, and it even starts to rain, which makes the view from this 332-meter high point a lot less impressive. But luckily, there are a few moments when I can enjoy the breathtaking view. Because of the rain, the route has become much more difficult and dangerous. The second, steep rocky part becomes extremely slippery, making you almost slip with every step. It is therefore not recommended to walk this route during or after rainfall. As beautiful as the day began, it unfortunately ends in rain. I finished the day a few kilometers further south in the Manhattan of the Mediterranean, Benidorm. Since the 1950s, this fishing village has grown into a place of mass tourism. with only 70,000 permanent residents and more than 300 very tall buildings. It has the highest density of tall buildings per resident in the world. In summer, the population can rise to about 1 million. In addition to Valencia, this region has another major city, Alicante, located in the southern part. It was originally founded as a Phoenician settlement and later grew into a prosperous Roman city. In 1248, it was conquered by Alfonso X and transformed into a Christian city within the Kingdom of Valencia. At the heart of the city center lies the San Nicolas Cathedral, which was built in the early 17th century on the foundations of a Moorish mosque and a Gothic church. Although the interior is relatively modest, the cathedral features a stunning dome that rises to a height of 45 meters, allowing beautiful natural light to filter into the space. Also located in the center is the beautiful Central Market Hall. Although it only opened in 1921, it has already witnessed significant events. During the Spanish Civil War, the market hall was heavily bombed, resulting in the deaths of between 300 and 400 people. This attack is considered one of the worst civilian bombings of the war. While the building was later restored, it remains a place of remembrance and sorrow. This bombing was not the only one to cause devastation in the city. Alicante was bombed at least 83 times in total, with more than 700 buildings destroyed. From the market hall, I walk partly through the old quarters of the city to what might just be the most beautiful building you can find here. At about 166 meters high, the Castillo de Santa Barbara towers above the city, a historic fortress with traces dating back to the Bronze Age, as well as Iberian and Roman periods. The first fortification was established as early as the 9th century during Moorish rule, intended to control the coastline. Between the 13th and 16th centuries, the fortress was significantly reinforced and took on its current appearance. Although it suffered serious damage in the centuries that followed, and even briefly fell into British hands. It's a stunning structure where you can wander for hours, discovering the city's rich history. The view from the top is also breathtaking. The fortress is located right in the center of the city, offering panoramic views over the sprawling urban landscape. You can climb up to the castle from various points in the city, but for those unable to make the ascent, a tunnel with an elevator has been created from the beach promenade, allowing you to reach the top straight from the seaside. It's one of the best and most beautiful places to take in the scale of the city and learn about its past. And best of all, admission is free, so don't let anything hold you back. To the north of the castle lies the Archaeological Museum, housed in a former hospital from the 1930s. Spread across 8 wings, the museum features various exhibitions and offers a true journey through the history of Alicante and its surroundings, from prehistory to the modern era just before the Civil War. With over 81,000 objects, it ranks among the top museums in the region and was even named European Museum of the Year in 2004. It's definitely worth visiting, especially if you're interested in history, and makes a perfect addition to a visit to the castle. Back in the old town of the city, I visit one of its most important religious buildings, the Basilica of Santa Maria. Construction of this church began in the 14th century and was completed in the 16th century. In the centuries that followed, various Baroque elements were added. Inside the church, a serene stillness takes over, with the highlight of the interior undoubtedly being the main altar, a true golden masterpiece. It is not only a beautiful building, but also a symbol of the transition from Islamic to Christian rule in the city. The final stop in the city is the town hall, where you are immediately welcomed by a striking golden sculpture by Salvador Dalí, depicting John the Baptist. This stunning piece stands out remarkably within the Baroque surroundings of the building. But what lies beneath the sculpture may be even more fascinating. The first step of the staircase inside the building marks Spain's geodetic reference point, known as the zero level. It serves as the official starting point for measuring elevation across the country. The magnificent rooms upstairs are truly breathtaking, featuring portraits of all former mayors, a chapel, and of course, the council chamber. It's a remarkable building that's well worth stepping inside, if only to stand beside a giant Dalí sculpture while also standing on the 0 point of Spain. Alicante marks the southernmost point of my journey through this region. From the city, I head north again through the inland areas, and along the way I come across a remarkable sanctuary, the Santuario de Santa María Magdalena. This almost fairy tale-like structure is quite unexpected in this region due to its unusual shapes. The architecture seems to come straight out of an Antoni Gaudí dream, yet it was created by a local engineer in the early 20th century. From the sanctuary, you're treated to stunning views over the surrounding valleys, and inside, the building exudes just as much mystique as it does from the outside, creating an atmosphere that feels both spiritual and artistic. Without a doubt, it's one of the most surprising places in the region. About an hour north, I arrive in the village of Bocairent, where I take a short walk and enjoy the viewpoint overlooking the town. Originally a medieval settlement with roots dating back to the Stone Age, it looks almost as if the houses were stacked on top of each other, all perched on a rocky outcrop. One particularly striking sight in the town is the Plaça de Bous, the oldest bull ring in the Valencia region, opened in 1843. What makes it unique is that it's largely carved into the rock of the hill, making it barely noticeable from the outside. Despite its discreet appearance, it can still seat nearly 4,000 spectators for the bullfights that continue to take place here. Although bullfighting is controversial, it remains a unique piece of cultural heritage. Driving through the Valencia region is a true experience, as the landscape changes rapidly. From stunning waterfalls in the hills and vast flatlands to mountainous terrain with deep gorges you drive through. The views are breathtaking time and again. This makes a road trip through the region highly recommended, as there is so much to see and discover. After a long journey northward, I end my day in the beautiful village of Cofrentes, a truly hidden place in this beautiful landscape. Day 6 of my journey through the Valencia region begins at the beautiful Benagéber Reservoir. Construction of the dam started in 1934, but was halted for a long period due to the Spanish Civil War. When construction resumed after the war, prisoners from the Franco regime were used to complete it, and the dam was finally finished in 1952. It stands about 90 meters tall, is 227 meters long, and holds back over 220 million cubic meters of water. Although it's partly used for power generation, the reservoir also plays a vital role in supplying drinking water and irrigating agricultural land. The surrounding area is stunning, with beautiful structures that show true attention to architectural detail. Not far from the reservoir lies the small town of Culla, where just outside the village, you'll find a remarkable hiking trail that passes through part of the Peña Cortada system. This 28-kilometer-long hydraulic system was constructed by the Romans during the 1st and 2nd centuries AD. The trail begins with a Roman aqueduct featuring 3 typical arches that span a small ravine. After this striking structure, you enter a series of tunnels and rock-hewn galleries once used to transport water. The route I walked was about 3 kilometers long, with an elevation gain of nearly 80 meters, making it a relatively easy hike. Although Roman engineering can be seen in many parts of Spain, this complex stands out as a rare and extraordinary example. The long tunnels, narrow gorges, and well-preserved bridges make it a truly unique and memorable experience. Not far from this remarkable site, I take a second hike. This time not to admire historical structures, but to explore an immense gorge carved by the Turia River. At the start of the video, we were still walking along the dry riverbed of this very river in the city of Valencia. The Ruta de los Pantaneros is considered one of the most spectacular hikes in the Valencia region, thanks to the towering limestone cliffs that rise over 80 meters high. Along the way, the trail offers breathtaking views and crosses two suspension bridges, one 20 meters long and the other 28 meters. In the 1950s, this route was frequently used by workers building the dam located at the entrance of the gorge. The section through the gorge itself spans about 2 kilometers, after which you can either continue hiking or, as I did, return to the reservoir. After a brief visit to the nearby white mountain village of Culla, I continue my journey northward and arrive in the village of Montanejos. Here too, you'll find a dramatic gorge landscape and a large reservoir. But that's not the only thing that makes this place special. North of the village lies Fuente de los Baños, a unique bathing spot. This spring maintains a constant water temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and has an impressive flow rate of 6,000 liters per minute. This makes it a natural, thermal river spa, and thanks to the minerals it contains, the water is said to offer various health benefits. Because the area is relatively small, reservations are required during the high season. In the low season, however, you can enjoy the calm surroundings, with the added bonus that the water remains pleasantly warm year-round. It's a truly special place that you shouldn't miss while traveling through the region. The final stop of the day brings me to the picturesque village of Culla. Perched at over 1,000 meters above sea level, this small village is home to barely 600 residents and has been inhabited since prehistoric times. At its heart lies a beautifully restored medieval center, officially recognized as a site of cultural heritage. Above the village, the remains of an ancient castle rise up, a silent witness to the times of the Moors, the Templars, and the Carlists. Culla is a remarkable place that truly makes you feel as if you've stepped back in time. A hidden medieval gem tucked away in the stunning inland region, and the perfect way to end my final evening here. The final morning of my journey through the Valencia region has come to an end, and I'm nearly back in the northern part of the area. Along the way, I pass more beautifully located villages like Orgues del Benitandús and make one last stop in the town of Morella. This impressive fortified town, perched high on a rocky hill, is visible from miles away. It's surrounded by more than 2 kilometers of medieval walls and towers, most of which date back to the 14th century. In total, there are 6 city gates, each with its own architectural character, and no fewer than 16 towers scattered along the wall. I enter through the Porta de Sant Miquel, one of the best preserved medieval gates in all of Spain. But it's not just the gate. Walking through the town itself, with its winding, narrow streets, creates a truly special atmosphere. The dramatic setting, the impressive fortifications, and the town's rich history make Morella a place you absolutely shouldn't miss. From the city, I continue driving about 40 kilometers through beautiful landscapes until I cross the border into Catalonia and leave the Valencia region behind. If you're curious about my journey through Catalonia, check out the video link in the description. Throughout this trip, I discovered that the Valencia region has so much more to offer than just the city it's named after. From the inland mountains and charming hilltop villages, to the touristy Costa Blanca, and the breathtaking nature I explored on foot, with deep canyons, waterfalls, and striking rock formations. It's been a varied journey, full of unexpected surprises, proving just how diverse and full of character this region truly is. It's a destination that offers far more than just city life and sun, and one that's absolutely worth exploring for yourself. In the next video, I'll take you to the Pyrenees, where a rainy day in the tiny country of Andorra awaits. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next adventures. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.